Thank you so much for pressing the play button. Welcome to the Own Your Space podcast. My name is Jason Johnson, and I'm your host. We are ending the month of January. We're in the last week, I believe. And this is actually the first recording that I've done this year in 2022. I haven't ever taken 3 weeks or 4 weeks off from doing a podcast. I'll tell you, I wanted to do a little reflecting. 2021 was amazing for me in my journey. I just wanted to reflect a little bit and then be present and then think about tomorrow. So this episode is reflecting on tomorrow. So 2021, January, talking to a lot of people, they feel like they're getting off to a slow start, doing, kind of struggling a little bit in a slump. And, I don't know how much you are into the stars and the universe, but, or the shift or alignment of planets and all that jazz. But there's, something going on where people are, kind of feeling stuck or like things aren't moving as fast as they would like them to. And so if that's going on for you as well, I just want to encourage you to take this time to kind of self reflect. Think about the things that you have, the things that have blessed you in your life so far, that just, be patient and use this time to kind of downshift, shift into neutral, spend some time on yourself, some self care, self love, and just kind of let things kind of go. Be patient and just know that you're not alone. It's happening for a lot of people. And so, gosh, I started this podcast in October of 2020, and I had no idea what I was doing. And I just felt the calling, felt the urge to start a podcast. A friend of mine encouraged me to do that, and so I did. And when I think about 2021, I had some amazing guests. So I'm reflecting, right? I'm reflecting on this past year. I connected with, I had over 20 interviews in the last 12 months. Just connected with some amazing people. So, I mean, if you were to go back and look at, episode 15, Jeremy Graham, you know, growth is in discomfort. Just, you know, average people, normal people, just like you and me, doing things. I connected with Leslie Nelson, owner of Little Love Bug, Carol Lott. She does meditation in Exeter Wellness Center, and has a co-owner of a CBD store in Exeter or Reading, Pennsylvania, that area. Justin Shank, the Growth Now movement. He's a podcaster. Rip Pruskin, sorry, co-founder of Rip Van Waffle. Kurt Kruger, author of Winning Ways for Living, and just an amazing human being, talking about meditation, love, God. Angela Cambarian, she's a coach and an absolute wonderful photographer that she has discovered for herself, taking pictures. People that are on their own journeys. Vicki Moore, author of Life Beyond Should. Dr. Fred Moss, mental health expert, many years in that field. And then, that took me up to like April, May. And then I connected with some people about leadership because I love leadership. Leadership is about, self-leadership, leading others, being present and influencing, directing and coaching, and it's responsibility. And anybody that listens to this podcast knows that leadership's important to me. But Scott Everett, We had a great conversation about his passion for leadership. And Mary Silva talked about leadership development. And then I met Ryan Hartley. He's the host of the Always Better Than Yesterday podcast. He's a coach and now actually my mentor. So I meet with Ryan regularly. He helps me with my journey. Nathan Todd, the loneliness coach, an amazing human being. Reach out to Nathan. Scott Lynch, The Motivated Mind, another podcast, amazing human beings. Oh, and then Jonathan Darling. Man, this guy's so passionate about leadership. I'm actually wearing one of his shirts. If you're watching this, love equals leadership. Jonathan, thank you so much for being part of my journey as well. Sean Brown, oh man, what a just loving human being. He has the BU podcast, BU, Be Love. Nicole Rand, thank you so much for your time, discovering your value. Eric Brothers, this guy is amazing himself, just a human being going through life, being passionate, being strong. He's a savage with a lion's heart, just amazing. Anna Sanborn, also another amazing individual, taking emotional intelligence and meeting with people in corporate. She's living in Sweden, but she meets with people all over the world, coaching, building teams with emotional intelligence in corporate. And then I finished the year out with Noel DeBona. Met him, connected on LinkedIn. Noel does workshops for team building and whatnot. And just, that was my journey last year. Just talked with, learned from, connected with some amazing human beings. Just very, very cool. Yeah. So, and then, reflecting a little further on the podcast, between interviewing and discussing, recording my conversation with those 20 individuals, I did some solo episodes in there and, talking about the things that I'm going through. And just reflecting on the show itself. When I started, I tried comparing myself to other podcasts and other shows, and sometimes it was discouraging when I started the year off, and I thought, gosh, I'm just, not good. People aren't listening. And frankly, my show's not for everybody. There's these true crime podcasts out there. There's, I'm not Gary V, right? So that's okay. The guy's awesome. He does a fantastic job. He's got a huge following, and that's great. And I can't say that it wouldn't be cool to have a very big following like that. But the reality is that I believe that, you're meant to be where you are. You're meant to touch the people that you touch and connect with the people you connect with. It doesn't have to be amazing. It doesn't have to be worldwide. It doesn't have to be this special event. It's about the small moments, the small connections. If you press play and, you're reflecting on your own journey, I just, have courage, have love in your life, be a servant to love, help others, be kind. Those are the things that make us better. Those are the things that make us whole beings and allow us to grow and make advances in our life. Just again, reflecting on 2021 in the podcast, just some really cool stuff I'd like to share with you. The show's been played or listened to in 24 countries around the world, places in, countries like Brazil, Spain, Singapore, Ireland, Germany, France, Czech Republic, Russia, Italy, Canada, Mexico. I mean, just amazing that people in other countries are being impacted or listening or tuning in, at least giving me a shot, right? Listening to some of the things that I'm talking about. And and then across the US in over 36 states. Just thank you so much for pressing the play button. And if you could leave me a review, if you could share an episode that you've connected with, tag me in social media. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. I just thank you so much for tuning in. A little more fact stuff that I was looking at my podcast. Over 67% of my listeners are male, 33% female, 74% are between the age of 35 and 59. But the 23 to 34 group is growing. I've seen more listeners coming in at that age group. So thank you, younger people, 23 to 34. I'll be 47 in a few days here at the end of January. So thank you so much. And then I wanted to, even though I said that we shouldn't compare ourselves to others, that it really is about comparing yourself to where, you are. Growth, it's like runners. There's people out there that, run thousands of miles and marathons, and if you want to run, don't compare yourself to those people. Just go for a run. Maybe it's a mile, maybe it's a half a mile or a walk. And then maybe the next time it's 1.2 miles. And then maybe the next time it's a mile and a half. And then maybe the next time it's 2 miles or 3 miles. Just as long as you feel like you are pushing yourself to your limits, not other people's limits. That's growth. That's getting better. That's having the courage to do those things. So, this, in my mind, the Own Your Space podcast is just my journey. It's me reflecting and connecting with people, learning for myself, growing. And again, if you've been part of that journey, thank you so much. I was curious to know, so I looked up. There are 2.7 million podcasts in the world right now. And the listennotes.com says that I'm in the top 10%. That's just absolutely amazing. I mean, that's 276,000 podcasts in the top 10%. It's a lot. And sometimes it can feel like, you're lost in that huge percentage. But you are you. And there's people that come into your life that you touch, you impact. That's who you're meant to be with. That's who you're meant to speak to. That's who you're meant to influence. And I say influence. Back to leadership. Leadership for me is about heart influence, being kind to others, being respectful to others. How can I help? What can I do for you? Those things are what fill me up. You can focus on, there's the self-love. And that doesn't mean, to me, buying all the material things in the world, giving yourself the big house, the big boat, the fancy car. If that's for you, that's great. That's fine. For me, it's really about the small things. Seeing somebody smile, seeing somebody overcome something that I've been a part of and influence them. That's leading with love and leadership. So that's my journey. It's being of service to people, learning about myself. Like I said at the beginning of this episode, I started the podcast in October of 2020 because I just had the courage to press the record button and talk. And I appreciate all the support. I appreciate you tuning in. And I want to encourage you to press your own record button. I'm not saying that you need to go start a podcast. I'm saying that push yourself, trust yourself. When you have that inner voice that you feel like you want to do something, just go for it. Say it, do it. It may not be perfect. It may not, you know, I've talked about failure. It may crash, right? But failure is not that you're less than. It means that you did something to grow. Every failure, every mishap, every it didn't work out, every no is a learning experience. If you feel like you're struggling, self-reflect, take some time, go for a run, breathe. There's only so many things you can control in life. And that's what you think, what you feel, what you say, and what you do. And those are the things that you can control. Those are the things you have control over. You can't control what somebody else says to you. You can't control the outcomes of what you do, how people react to the things that you do. You just have to do it and learn from it. And if if you take a wrong turn in life and you go down the wrong road and it's a dead end, that's okay. You have just learned that that's not the road to go down. You have just learned that you're going to try a different road next time. And eventually you find a road that gets you to where you want to go. And maybe it's got potholes in it, right? And maybe it's a bumpy road. Well, then you learn how to navigate around those potholes the next time you go down that road. It's just having the courage to do something. That's been my journey in 2021, learning and growing. And I've in my journey, listening to other people, talking to other people, reading a lot of books, connecting. One of the things that I stick with, that I use part of my leadership presentation, is neutral thinking. When you imagine yourself in your car and you have forward, neutral, and reverse. Reverse symbolizes things that aren't working out for you. You feel like you're going backwards. You feel like things are going sideways or whatever, that they're not working properly. You can't go forward without shifting into neutral first. Neutral is that time to self-reflect on the things that are going on. It's that time to go for a run. It's that time to sit, relax, have some moments by yourself, and then just think of something that you want to do and make it simple, but do it. That's shifting into forward. That's shifting into drive. So, those are the little simple things in your life that can help you be better tomorrow. So reflect on tomorrow. Thank you so much for pressing the play button. Thank you for tuning into the show. Thank you for supporting me and being a listener. Leave me a review. Connect with me on social. I love you. Be blessed. And thank you.